Hey, hello from wherever you are, and welcome. My name is Amanda Holstein, and I'm here with Kathy Pickett and Heart Tree Institute. And you can check us out on hearttreeinstitute.com. And this is an offering. We're going to join together every month. Kathy and I, we're just going to do a short full moon review as a way of checking into the energies of the full moon and a way of getting us all into the vibration of the full moon and all taking a moment of reflection, because that's what the full moon is. It's like a mirror. It's a mirror of reflection. So that's what we're going to be doing today, right now, and talking about the full moon. And we're also going to pull some tarot cards for this first full moon in January 2025, the wolf moon. So welcome. And yeah, we're just going to be with the moon today. So how are you doing, Kathy?
I'm doing pretty good. As we've talked about, I've been feeling this moon. This feels like a
Yeah.
very powerful, energetic moon. And I've been, as I will say in this probably more than once, this is the time that I feel like howling at this moon. And I love that it's a wolf moon because
Yeah.
I've been feeling the energy rising in me as though it's a fountain rising and flowing out. It's the water that's emotion, and it's not named or labeled, but it just feels like it's a gentle release. And it's
Yeah.
just happening. It's like going with the release because that's what this moon is providing us is with this energy of moving this emotion, which is the water element, out of us. And I
Yeah.
love that we're doing this
Yeah, I do too.
time.
And this is a full moon in Cancer. We're really talking about the things that we hold tenderly, or the emotion. I mean, it's a full moon, and then it's a full moon and kind of a more of a watery and emotional sign. So it is kind of an emotional moon and a watery moon in and of itself. And I love this howling at the moon, and I love that you've been talking about that, because as we were talking about earlier, it's like sometimes these emotional places, these deep heart places, when we wake up in the middle of the night, right? And sometimes the mind really goes. And what I find is really important in the middle of the night is what we go to is those deeper places that need to be seen and need to be reflected on and need to just be acknowledged. And often they have to just be acknowledged without words. There are deeper emotions, there are deeper heart, and there's not always words. Vocabulary is not efficient. So we can howl, right? We can howl at the moon. So total encouragement to howl at the moon. You know, if you live in the country, go howl at the moon. You can howl into a pillow. You can howl with the car windows, up, driving through traffic. But there's opportunities to howl in all sorts of different ways, and just to kind of put voice to those deeper feelings and those deeper knowings that don't have words.
And the most incredible thing is that when we release this stagnant energy that's been stuck in us, it can create space for the new. So I think this is an important time as we set this agenda or our intentions for 2025, that we release 2024 of whatever no longer serves us. And if we can reflect on the strengths and the places where we really showed up this year
Yeah.
and acknowledge where we showed up is
Oh,
even more important than where things were really difficult. So it's a time to honor our instincts, where we showed up naturally, and to set our intentions for this year to be more aligned and more tuned and aware of our vibration so that we can navigate our path through this year coming. And I think this is just the most beautiful time to do it. Wolves are instinctual and
yes.
they're very, they live in nature, so they live on their instincts. And this is about calling you to remember your instincts and really following your own intuition
Yeah.
because wolf are teachers in my mind.
Mhm.
I see wolf energy as teachers, as wise creatures,
Yeah.
and I think we all have a wise woman or man, whoever's
Mhm.
listening. We have a wise being within us, and this is like unleashing that wildness because the
Yes.
wolf is wild. It's like
Yes.
wild. Unleash and see
Mhm.
what happens. Just let your energy, and if in your mind you can even imagine something, then you're creating it, you're co creating it with the universe. So, this is the time to use the energy of the moon. And Amanda and I have talked a lot about the healing powers of the moon. It's
Yeah.
just naturally for Amanda and I, we've just naturally been drawn to the healing powers of the moon and to really allow that moonlight to wash over us, bathe over us, however you envision
Yes.
the moonlight, the healing
Yeah.
light, washing away all that
Yeah.
no longer serves us so we can stand in our power this year. Wolves
Yeah.
are strong, they're
Yeah.
powerful creatures. And that's
Yeah,
what
they're pack animals. They work together. They work together as a pack. We have this idea of the lone wolf, right? And but that's a very sort of cultural, idealistic concept or archetypal concept even sometimes too. You know, there can be lone wolves, but a lone wolf is actually not as safe as a wolf in a pack. And a pack really works together. It works together for the health of the pack. It works together for the health and safety of its territory, to the health and safety of its young and of its elders. You know, they really work together. And I love that we're talking about nature because I think now more than ever, it's like this moon, and what I think Kathy and I are really encouraging everyone to do is to remember the moon as a sentient being. You know, we live in this culture that's just objectifies everything. Everything becomes an object. And we've lost our tribal traditions, you know, because every single one of us, it doesn't matter what color we are, where we live, every single one of us has our ancestral history is tribal, hands down. Every single one of us, every single one of our ancestors wore feathers in their hair or shells as jewelry. Every single one of our ancestors mapped the seasons and mapped the moon. You know, there's no way around that. We are actually at our core primal tribal beings, and we need to break out of this objectified society that we've been taught and we've lived in. So that's part of what we're doing too, is to remember the moon as a sentient being. Now more than ever, we have to connect to nature. We have to connect to water. We have to connect to the elemental energies as sentient beings. We have to see them as beings that we need to care for and tend to. So this is also that opportunity, is to remember that moon as a being, you know, an ancient, wise, incredible being holding that divine feminine energy that a woman's body cycles with. Doesn't matter where she is in life, a child, a maiden crone, however we want to think about it. Doesn't matter where she is in her existence. She has a womb, and the womb is in cycle with the moon. So to remember that this is a sentient being, that we're connecting to this incredible power, and that we're really using it, and encouraging you guys to use it to put your bodies in it, right? And to put your crystals out in this full moon, to put a glass of water out in this full moon, and let the energy of the full moon go into the water so that you can commune with that water and the moon energy that next day or whenever you like. So that's what we're really encouraging and hoping to bring you guys in with us every month when we do a full moon tarot reading and just conversation.
So you want to see what tarot brought us today?
Yeah, let's do it.
I asked tarot for guidance around the full moon and what would be helpful for us to know personally, individually, and to share with you. And I, I asked for three cards. The first one that came up, if you can see that, okay, so this is an eight. An eight is the number of manifestation. This is a pentacle card, which is represents Earth and all that we value. You know, some people can see this is financial value, but it is valuing every relationship, every person, every animal, valuing your home, honoring it, spending time. The things that you love are the things and people and places and things you should be nourishing. And it takes focus and hard work, to make all those calls to friends or family and to stay in touch. That community that we're talking about, the pack, this is about loving everything that you have on earth. You've worked hard for it. You've worked on those relationships and really, truly appreciating it. And then another earth card came up. This is a pentacle, it's the queen, which is feminine energy. The queen knows what she values and she honors what she values. And it's not about money because it's earth. She values the earth. Values the air, the land, the water, the sea. She values it. And in this card, you can kind of see that it has earth and it has sky. It's this sunlit sky with energy. and roses. So the queen takes her time to see the beauty of the earth, and she is renewed by the beauty of the earth as she cares for the earth. And then I got a card that I consider very much a challenge card in the deck. This is a three of swords. The swords have to do with air and the mind. And we can see the clouds and we can see the rain. So
Mm.
many times when we look at this card, we can see sorrow, we
Yeah.
feel sorrow. So at this full moon, I want you to imagine going inside of your heart, your being, your water within you. What sorrow are you holding that you can shift out and release? What sorrow are you holding for others? What pain are you holding for others? What are you holding from the external world that just we can't manage right now? We can't stop the fires or stop the wars or stop the hunger, maybe, but we can release the pain of it. And when we release the pain of it, what happens is when we pull these swords out, it opens the heart to love the world more. You know, a broken heart protects itself and holds safety, protection, protection. And this is about not protecting the heart. This is
Yeah.
about loving the world more, even
Mm.
though there is pain and sorrow. And that's
Yeah.
hard for humans because the pain of sorrow is feels so real in us. Sometimes we attach to it, but we
Yeah.
can release the sorrow and send love to whatever that is that brought that source of pain. And because this was the last of the three cards, I asked Tarot if I could pull another card to kind of say, so we follow this. We value the earth, we value the people, we value all that matters to us.
Yeah.
And the queen sees the beauty of the earth and brings it to others. We release the sorrow. We release
Mm.
the sorrow. And this is a absolutely beautiful card. It's called the Judgment card. It comes at the end of tarot. We see naked individuals, men, women, child in a coffin, looking up as the trumpet, you know, when we cross the gates of heaven, you know, we say Gabriel's trumpet roars, so we can find our way, we can hear the trumpet.
Mm.
This is about releasing the physical world. This is about finding the spiritual world, the non physical world. When we connect with water, when we connect with earth, when we connect with each other, from a spiritual, vibrational energy. It rises you above the physical so that you can send love and light to wherever you need to in the world. This is the card of freedom. I am free
Yeah.
of my physical body. I'm free of the task, the to dos, all of that. I am free to live. So, this is saying live freely and
Yeah.
wildly and innately. This is your core. This is your vulnerability. You're the wild woman, man now, and you're just living the wildness of your dreams. You're brave, you're courageous. This moon, I also believe that wolves are very courageous and brave
Yeah.
animals. And I
I
believe
know.
this is a
So
time to
true.
be brave and courageous on earth.
Yeah.
But we
Mhm.
can only do that if we know who we are. So this is saying, I know who I am and I'm free to live who I am. So I
Mhm.
love that for the last card. We got through the hard one, but that's a beautiful. So
I
that's
love that for
what I
the last
got,
card.
Amanda.
Yeah, I love that. That makes me feel so much better.
That's
And I feel like it just really, the trajectory of those cards is so perfect. That first card, the things that really struck me is one, there's this strong, beautiful tree in the background, and then he's sitting on a log making something. And that has been our, that's society, right? Like we have been pulling in these elements. We've been using these trees, we use wood, we use metal, we use these elements to build, to make, to do, right? And then there's this change of frequency in that beautiful center card of honoring the elements. And that's what we've been talking about for this conversation. It's like, how do we stop living in an objectified society where everything is an object without its own sentience, without its own consciousness, without our responsibility for its health and well-being? And that queen is sitting there, she's a queen. That's duty and responsibility. With great skill, with great ability comes great duty, responsibility for all that is. And she's holding it just kind of like just this moment of reverence, and this moment of sort of her head's a little bowed, she's kind of in awe of it. and then the last card, it's like, yes, we're in this place. Oh my God, are we in this place? And I love the rain because it just instantly made me feel, remember the fires and how our hearts are just kind of shocked and hurting. But that we have to let go of even just like this cycle of time of building without boundaries, industrial revolution. We have to, break free of that cycle of time, mourn what has happened, and then move forward into that fourth card, move forward into this transcended state, and but the queen to me really balances it because it's still a physical state. It's still a physical state, but it has that celestial aspect of everything is sacred, everything is holy, everything is in union with the all that is. I mean, it's just what a beautiful to me. I'm like, that is the perfect spread for today and everything that I've been feeling, and it's just perfect.
It's incredible. Every time I do tarot, I'm like, I don't know what the cards are going to be, but they seem to always come through.
Yeah,
I think that just tells me that we are part of something greater than ourselves and connecting to whatever aspect of divine essence, benevolent universal consciousness is really important because the moon is the light that reminds us that we're part of something bigger and that
yeah.
we're maybe smaller than we like to think sometimes, but that there
Mm.
were always assets and help around us. So I just want to say, howl at the moon,
Howl at the moon.
release and invite in this new transformative year and
Yes.
set your intentions,
Yeah.
not in the physical realm of achievement, but in the intuitive, personal self mastery realm. I will be attuned to my body. See, the moon teaches us to be attuned to our body because it shows us how we're moving with water. And so,
Yeah.
just to be more conscious, this is my wish for myself, my intention
Hmm.
is to be conscious of my vibration and the vibrations of people, places, and things, and aligning my choices. And I believe this moon can light the path at this time so we
Yeah.
can see where we're going. If we sit
Yeah.
in the full moon, and if you
Yeah.
can't actually sit in the full moon and have it shine on you, it is shining above in the daylight and the night. So I
Yes.
don't know. Do you know the time of the actual fullness? Is it
I
5 a.m.?
don't. I meant to look it up, but I think it was like 5:27, but I'm not,
I
don't
was
quote
thinking
me.
5:22, so it's 5 a.m. So, and you'll probably be sleeping, or the moon
Yeah,
will you. We'll see.
the moon might wake you up. Yeah, absolutely. So January 13th, 2025. This is the opportunity at hand. If you want to sleep right through it, go ahead, but put your glass of water out on a windowsill where the moonlight's going to come in. You'll find everybody will find their way of communion.
And your crystals, because when you pick
And
up
your
your crystals
crystal.
after the full moon and you hold one
Uh,
in each hand as you meditate
yeah,
on this full moon, we can use a lot
yeah.
of carnelian, citrine, those really,
Ooh,
sacral
mm,
water power elements,
mm,
and
mm.
quartz, of course, absorbs most easily clear, will absorb the full moon. And when you meditate holding these, I promise you, you will sense the moon in those crystals if you leave them.
Yeah.
And I love getting my crystals after I bathe them in the moon because they're always happy and excited, and it's lovely.
Oh, they are. Yep, I love doing it too. They're
And,
charged. Yeah.
and just to say, we're going to be working on a psychic development circle, sacred conversations throughout 2025. So stay tuned for those invitations.
Yeah, yeah, good. All right, what a joy. Enjoy, everyone.
Take
Have a
care.
great full moon.